In Gladiator, Marcus Aurelius is murdered just moments before he can safely pass the most powerful seat in human history into safe hands. The consequences of this are quite serious. But what if he hadn't made this mistake? He wanted to make Maximus the emperor, but how would that have really played out? Just to be clear, this is what happens in the movie. Marcus Aurelius is the emperor. He's coming to the end of his life, and he decides he wants to pass his power to Maximus, who is the handsome, likeable, honourable general of his army, rather than his own son Commodus, who's just a bit of a creep. Now, good old Mark decides to tell Maximus of his intentions alone. He then tells Commodus of his intentions again alone. He makes no effort whatsoever to write his intentions down, no effort to tell a trusted official of the government, and plainly no failsafe for if, say, Commodus tries something a little rash like murder. Now, upon being absolutely bamboozled by the idea that Commodus is a little disappointed he's not going to be the ruler of the planet, Marcus's frail old face is hugged to death. Maximus finds the dead emperor, knows exactly what happened, and tells Commodus to shove it where the sun don't shine. Maximus and his family are brutally murdered by our new favourite public servant, except Maximus survives, and through what can only be described as complete and utter badassery, he comes back and fucks shit up.
Nice.
Now, we have an outstanding film.
Okay.
I don't want to change it, but at Mate Night, when we do an episode, we always have to bring a change.
Let's go, baby.
So, there are 3 specific questions to answer for a clear picture of how things might have played out had Marcus's intentions been realised. I've prepared an answer for each. I'm going to read it out. Then Fred, you're going to let me know what you think, and our fantastic audience will help us out in the comments below.
Let's go.
Question 1. How does Marcus pass the reins to Maximus a little more carefully? By this I mean, how do you break the news to Commodus without dying? So, let's clarify exactly where we're going to diverge from the original film's plot. After the final battle for Germania, where Maximus's army defeats the barbarians, Aurelius, Maximus, and Commodus are all on site.
Yep.
Marcus tells Maximus his plan to make him emperor, and Maximus says, I really, really wanted to retire. Can I think about it? They agree to wait until the end of the day for Maximus to come back with a decision. Now, this is where we diverge, because unlike in the film, Marcus would probably wait for Maximus's decision before mentioning anything to Commodus. So let's assume that he actually does that. Maximus, true to his word, comes back by the end of the day and he accepts emperorship. Mm-hmm. Now, I've not gone into a whole load of spiel about, well, I have, but I've cut that, about why he might do that. But I think we can assume, based on the evidence...
He leans in that he was going to.
He's
Marcus
a dutiful
said,
man.
You have to, because you're the only one who doesn't want to.
Marx is pretty convinced that he's going to take it.
Yeah,
so much so that he tells Commodus before the decision's even made.
Maybe he was just trying to...
Cause
if Maximus and stuff say, I don't want it, be like, well, I've already told Commodus. Well, you have to tell him.
You have to break the news to him. So, understanding the stakes for Commodus.
Okay.
He's spent his whole life planning for this. Marcus decides to take a decisive yet gentle approach to breaking the news to his child. As a failsafe for anything going slightly awry, he pens a letter declaring his intention to appoint Maximus as his successor, tells only his daughter Lucilla, and sends it off to a senator in Rome with strict instructions to open only if he dies before making a public announcement. Unfortunately, this letter lands in the lap of Falco, the senator who seems to side with Commodus in the film.
Right, okay.
So that's where I reckon we're going to set off from in my new movie.
So you're keeping conflict.
So yeah, it's going to, the new conflict is going to be about how Maximus ends up in as the emperor, if he manages to.
And he's told, is it Lucilla? Is that the name?
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius told Lucilla, he said, look, I've written this letter and I've sent it off to Rome.
So the next action is Marcus is going to tell Commodus. Maximus has said, I accept.
Yes.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yep.
Marcus has told Lucilla.
And now he's gone and told Commodus as well.
Falco. He's told Commodus as well.
Yes. And so my thinking with this was, and this got cut, was basically I didn't really come up with an exact way for how a massive change for how he survives the situation, but more if he's speaking to Commodus and he kind of says it in a way where it's clear the finality of his decision is irreversible. You know, he doesn't tell him about the letter, but he's like, it's happening. then I think that maybe that slight detail. The thing is, right, Marcus tells Commodus it's almost like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna make is that cool? I'm gonna make Maximus emperor. Is that cool? And Commodus like, no, that's not cool. What, you've never loved me, and now you're not even gonna give me the job.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault. Yes.
He looks so surprised. He looks so surprised.
Terrible father.
Oh, I can't believe you're taking this so badly.
Oh, Commodus. It's all my fault.
It's all
my fault.
Dad, I'm a really bad person. Instead of going like, no, son, you're not. He's going like, yeah, and it's my fault that you're a bad person. So I'm just thinking like, look, if he goes into this situation and he's like, it's not like trying to mention it in passing the way that he did in the film, but he's saying to him like, you should know this decision has been made. There's already the wheels in motion. Then I think that it would just force Commodus's hand to just stay like, you can't just murder him in that situation because he's not even going to solve your problem anymore.
Okay, all right. So let's say Commodus doesn't murder Marcus, which Marcus could have done, as you say. I mean, that's one. You went down one avenue of a way of Marcus avoiding murder.
Yeah.
There are numerous.
He could have just had someone else in the
almost
room.
any other way of doing it would have meant that he didn't get killed in patricide by Commodus. So instead, now the letter is with Falco. Now you mentioned Falco. I can only assume
He's the one.
that there's a reason. I know you mentioned he's obviously aligned with Commodus, but given that Marcus Aurelius is surviving, I can only assume you have a reason for this to be delivered to Falco. So what is it? Hit me.
Let's go. Question number 2. How does Commodus scheme to prevent Maximus's rise to power? Although Commodus doesn't murder his father immediately, his readiness for drastic action remains. With the war won and the key characters in a war-torn territory, Commodus begins to plot. As Marcus and his convoy make their way back to Rome to announce the new emperor, they are unexpectedly attacked by a Germanic tribe. Marcus is tragically killed during this ambush. In the ensuing chaos, Commodus quickly takes advantage of the situation to assert his claim to the throne, assuming he is the sole keeper of Marcus's true plans. Maximus, arriving shortly after to find Marcus is dead, is overwhelmed by grief and suspicion of foul play. Lacking any solid proof this time, and recognizing the complex political implications of his accusations, he reluctantly agrees to serve under Commodus temporarily. His decision is driven by a commitment to maintain stability for Rome and its people, despite his personal doubts and the turmoil within him. So I'm thinking Commodus is going to move quick, right? All he knows is Marcus has just said, I'm going to go back to Rome and I'm going to make Maximus the emperor.
I'm going to tell Max.
I'm going to tell everyone that Max is the emperor.
Right. Okay.
And Commodus has gone, okay, I'm going to have to do something about this.
Yeah.
And he acts rashly, but maybe just doesn't murder him on the spot. But he still is like, I'm going to have to fucking do something about this.
All right. I'm upset with your decision. Let's keep it between us until you get to Rome.
And then, oh no, there's a load of barbarians. What?
Each spy shall die on time. So, all right. Here's my question. What was your thought process behind Maximus not having the same reaction that he had before?
Because it's much less obvious that Commodus has done what he's done. So in the film, it's very clear. Commodus has very clearly killed his dad. And so Commodus
died in his sleep. Sorry.
It's like
Can't be helped.
with his nose like smooshed up against his fucking face, like blood all over his t-shirt. Like, yeah, he died in his sleep.
Horrible. It's a painful sleep.
And so in that situation, Maximus is like, yeah, okay. Right. But in this one, the benefit of the doubt keeps him from behaving in such a ballsy way, basically.
But how do we kill his wife and kids?
Oh, you know what? I actually didn't in this. I don't think that my alternative is better.
So he's not the father to a murdered son. the husband to a murdered wife.
Fuck.
He's just
No, because
father to a
when
son,
he gets home,
husband to a wife.
they've just been killed in a burglary gone wrong. That's
You know
my
what?
plot.
Whatever happened in this, Maximus's family was getting killed.
Whatever happens.
He could not stop it. It was inevitable. Go.
I've managed to change history.
All right.
Right.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad his family died. Right.
I could give you the final climax, and then we can, because
Yeah,
I
go on.
kind of wrap most things up. I do a bit of a casino on us. Okay, so question number 3. How might the other characters now impact the outcome?
Okay.
So we have 4 characters in play in my little story. We have Maximus, we have Commodus, we have Lucilla, who knows that this letter exists, and we have Falco.
Okay.
Lucilla, aware of her father's letter, which nominates Maximus as his successor, finds herself in a precarious position. Opting for silence, she protects the critical secret, fearing for her safety and her son under Commodus's unpredictable rule. Falco, recognizing the letter's potential as a political bombshell, initially plans to use it as leverage to cement his own position under Commodus. However, as he perceives the instability of Commodus's reign, he sees an opportunity for a greater personal gain. Falco knows that Lucilla is terrified of Commodus. So he's gonna reach out to Lucilla because he wants to consolidate his power and blackmail Commodus. So Falco approaches Lucilla with a cunning proposal. Use the letter to blackmail Commodus into becoming a puppet ruler controlled by them. He believes Lucilla, resenting her brother, will be tempted by the chance to diminish Commodus's power whilst appearing to support him. Lucilla pretends to agree with Falco's plan, recognizing it as a way to manipulate him. She meets privately with Maximus, revealing both the existence of the letter and Falco's intentions. Together they devise a daring strategy to use the public revelation of the letter, not just to depose Commodus, but also to expose Falco's treachery, ensuring no other manipulations can undermine the rightful succession. The plan unfolds during Commodus's grand coronation. As Commodus revels in the ceremony, believing he has secured his power, Maximus and Lucilla step forward. The Senate and the crowd fall silent as Lucilla presents the letter, declaring Maximus as the rightful emperor, a decision Commodus tried to bury along with Marcus Aurelius himself. The revelation of Commodus's and Falco's machinations leads to immediate consequences. Commodus is arrested, his downfall marked by political rejection and the moral outrage of the Roman Empire. Falco, realizing too late that his manipulation has backfired, is left speechless and disgraced before the Senate. He is quickly exiled, a vivid reminder of the dangers of overreaching ambition. Maximus ascends as the new emperor, endorsed by the Senate and acclaimed by the people, committed to restoring the virtues and vision of Marcus Aurelius. Lucilla, by his side, vows to protect the legacy of Rome, ensuring her father's values endure in the new era. So that's my own little plot in the Gladiator universe.
Full circle fan fiction we have got to. So I really like it. I didn't have any major notes other than to comment on how it differs from the actual plot.
Sure.
So obviously we don't get any Gladiator revenge, so that is going to be worse. But
That's where the problems start, Freddie.
the problem is the best parts of the original film will be removed.
Are you not entertained? It's like, no, nothing's happening.
I'm not. I'm bored.
This is a shit film.
So
How did this get?
becomes kind of a run-of-the-mill, but still intriguing political espionage, which will actually tie in. We're going to have some similarities with my wife. But what could we do to improve it? So obviously the death of his family.
Yeah. Trial by combat.
I was thinking this, maybe we make them both Falco and Commodus
Fight to the death.
gladiators. Well, yeah, fight to the death. That's their punishment. And then the winner just has to become a gladiator. Because then at least the title of the film remains the same.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think of that. I don't know why it would be called. I don't know why it would be called.
Why did we call this Gladiator again?
Well, we did have a really good plot. And then some idiot came in and suggested we change it.
Renamed the Stoic Letter.
The lack of fighting is one bit. The other thing is as well the protagonist, who seems to still be Maximus, doesn't really have to overcome anything. He's just vibing like the whole movie.
Probably the new protagonist.
Protagonist?
The new protagonist is...
It'd be Lucilla.
Lucilla, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Which would be very contemporary of me. Yeah. Ooh. It would be very modern of us to do that.
That's true. This is a retelling. 100%. Gladiatress.
Gladiator kicks ass, kills a tiger. Wait, he does though. Another belter of a scene.
Oh, yeah. Kills a tiger.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some...
What I do like, and I want to stress this, is that you genuinely have made an improvement to... This is our classic one change format of we're going to try and find a way of improving.
Something.
Certainly the plot, the plot and the action and the story is worse, but... But does it matter if the reason we got there actually makes sense?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because the reason it makes no sense. This is going to come up in my what if as well. It makes absolutely no sense. Just how Marcus Aurelius is as a person. He comes in, causes carnage.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be a good philosopher. He is philosopher like Roman.
85. He's been leading his whole. People have been making attempts on his life for his whole career.
Oh yeah, that bit
and he just doesn't think that this could be like a risk. Look at your kid. Look at his eyes. Look at his creepy little eyes. You're gonna tell him he's not emperor, assume nothing's gonna go wrong with no backup.
The man who you couldn't get him pets. You couldn't get your kid pets, could you? Because they all died in their sleep.
Because they
smashed, they sleep on their face. And
their faces got smushed in.
Peacefully died, they say. Oh, sorry, old nibbles. So, yeah, I think that bit makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay.
I think what, if we part 2 or maybe audience suggestions is to how to have that while still retaining the amazingness of the film.
I toyed with trying to make this change and then see how quickly I could get it straight back onto the Gladiator plot.
Okay, so here's what I was thinking as a suggestion for that is Maximus does say Commodus killed. Yeah. This Germanic attack was caused by Commodus. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going, see ya. Yeah. I'm going to mount a charge, but I need to get out of here. And then we have the same... The same storyline happens up to that point, but in play is still the letter and Lucilla. So maybe instead of the ending where Commodus bizarrely decides to fight him in an arena and wound him, whatever, you could get rid of the ending, which I don't like, which I've mentioned, or not don't like, but
room for improvement.
Maybe you bring the letter into play there somehow. So then you still get all the cool stuff.
The letter comes out near the end of our real movie, the one that happened. The letter comes out, and then he's forced to go and fight in the pits.
Yeah. And the kid has to fight the pits as well.
And Lucilla
the kid finds the letter, and then Commodus chucks him in a pit.
And then everyone goes, "Hang on a minute, Lucilla, did you know about this letter for this whole film?"
And then Falco goes,
All right, well, thank you so much for listening. If you have any ideas on how we can make this better, please let us know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks.